Long, long ago, in a peaceful kingdom surrounded by green forests and quiet rivers, there lived a young prince. He had everything a prince could wish for: a grand castle with tall towers, rooms filled with golden light, and gardens where roses bloomed all year round. And yet, the prince was not happy. Every evening, when the sun sank behind the hills and the sky turned soft shades of pink and blue, the prince would sit by his window and sigh. What troubled him was not riches or power, but something far more important. He wanted to marry a real princess. He was not looking for someone who merely wore fine dresses or sparkling crowns, but someone who was kind in her heart, honest in her words, and gentle in her ways. Determined to find such a princess, the prince set out on a long journey. He traveled across distant lands, rode through golden fields, crossed wide rivers, and visited many kingdoms. In some places, he met princesses who lived in tall marble palaces. They spoke politely and smiled sweetly, but they laughed when servants dropped a plate or looked away when someone needed help. In other lands, he met princesses who wore shining jewels and walked proudly through crowded halls, yet they complained about small inconveniences and refused to listen to others. Each time the prince hoped, and each time he felt unsure, thinking there was always something not quite right. After many months, the prince returned home tired and disappointed, his heart heavy as he wondered if he would ever find the princess he was searching for. One evening, as the castle grew quiet and the torches flickered softly along the stone walls, the sky suddenly changed. Dark clouds gathered quickly, thunder rolled across the heavens, and rain began to pour down in great sheets. Lightning flashed, lighting up the castle towers for a brief moment before plunging everything back into darkness. Just then, a soft knocking echoed at the great city gate. The old king, surprised at such a late hour, wrapped himself in a cloak, took a lantern, and went to open the gate. Standing outside was a young girl, soaked from head to toe. Rain streamed down her hair and face, her clothes were heavy with water, and her shoes squished with every small movement. She looked cold, tired, and very far from home, and yet she stood straight and spoke calmly. "I am a princess," she said gently. "I was traveling when the storm came. May I please have shelter for the night?" The king looked at her with concern and invited her inside, where servants quickly brought warm towels and dry clothes. The old queen, however, watched quietly from the doorway. She said nothing, but her eyes missed nothing. Later that night, when it was time for the girl to sleep, the queen prepared a special bed. First, she placed a tiny green pea on the wooden bed frame. Then she laid 20 soft mattresses on top of it, followed by 20 thick feather beds that were as light as clouds. When the bed was ready, the girl was shown to her room. "Sleep well," the queen said kindly. The girl smiled and thanked her, though she looked a little puzzled by the height of the bed. All night long, the rain continued to fall outside the castle windows. Inside, the girl turned and tossed beneath the blankets. She tried to sleep, but something felt wrong. No matter how she lay, there was a small, uncomfortable pressure beneath her back. It was not painful, but it was impossible to ignore. She closed her eyes and breathed slowly, hoping sleep would come, but it did not. In the morning, sunlight filled the castle halls. At breakfast, the queen asked softly, "How did you sleep?" The girl hesitated, then answered honestly, "Oh, very poorly. I don't know what was in the bed, but it felt hard, and I could not rest at all." The queen smiled gently. Now she knew. Only a true princess with a sensitive body and an honest heart could feel something so small through so many layers. The prince was overjoyed. He had finally found the princess he had been searching for, not because of her clothes or title, but because she was truthful, patient, and kind even when she was uncomfortable. They were married soon after, and the tiny pea was placed safely in the royal museum as a reminder that true nobility comes from within. And so the prince and the princess lived happily, ruling with kindness and care. And if you ever wonder whether this story is true, well, the pea may still be there if no one has taken it.